Chibi-Robo started as a point-and-click adventure game that would eventually find itself put on an indefinite hiatus. Later on, Shigeru Miyamoto himself would find out about the game and fall madly in love with the concept. He would take the game from the clutches of Bandai and overhaul it under the gentle hand of Nintendo. The game's creators wanted to take established concepts and twist them in unexpected ways. Despite the game's happy tones, it covered serious topics such as divorce, loneliness, and pollution, unprecedented for titles routinely in the library of Nintendo. The game would not find much success, being released late into the lifespan of the GameCube and receiving very little marketing, only to be found in the likes of magazines and Nick.com ads. In spite of this middling success, Nintendo would not give up on the brave little bot. They sought to renew him in a sequel on the Nintendo DS. Nintendo, however, demanded the game reject its more confined homey space and find itself in a free and inviting garden. The team members took a design approach that Ueda likened to jazz improvisation. Chibi-Robo would find himself in a park, watering and blooming flowers through the evocative art of dance, which was inspired by the famous roots of Michael Jackson himself. I'm not joking. The game Chibi-Robo Park Patrol would find itself in the predicament of being sold exclusively at fucking Walmart, selling the Nintendo video game in the obscure series exclusively fucking Walmart. This was due to Walmart's very real thing of a strong environmental program and social giving campaign. Nintendo, probably being high off crack or some shit, also gave out randomly 500 packets of seeds to people who registered the game, 'cause gamers love fucking trees. That'll get them to buy shit. Worked with Pikmin, right? Nintendo, in the surprised Pikachu-faced bewilderment, not understanding how the game failed, decided to give Chibi-Robo another chance. A third game on the DS reverting to the original formula, and made the series beloved by alien dragons and mythical Scott the Woz alike, would be made. However, for the developers' severe blame in directly causing the game to fail, through no fault of Nintendo, dictated the game only be sold in Japan, and never localized. Later on, with the advent of the Wii, Nintendo looked over at that dumb fucking robot they hate apparently, and decided to give another shot again to the poor robot. Despite the last game just kinda doing alright or something, they weren't really paying attention anymore. The new Wii Play Control series revitalized beloved classics from the GameCube, bringing a fresh coat of paint and fresh faces on a more established console. Chibi-Robo was one of those lucky few. However, when the time came for localizations, Nintendo remembered that this robot they hate was in fact that robot they hate, and made him the sole, unlocalized title in the Wii Play Control series. Later on, wondering why the Wii Play Control game wasn't doing as well as the others, looked over at that tiny robot with his single Nick.com ad they dug out of the trash he collected for them earlier. Decide that maybe the robot will do better with a smaller, gimmickier game. Skip Limited is dragged out of the basement and forced to work on Chibi-Robo Photo Finder, a game which forgoes almost all Chibi-Robo essentials for a photo gimmick that barely works. Nintendo, realizing the incredibly detailed graphics for a real-life photo-based game, used up $5 more than anticipated, forgo a localization of Photo Finder until Skip Limited, barely able to speak from dehydration, from being able to drink more than rainwater, beg for one, and Nintendo listens. After the most skin-and-bone experience known as Photo Finder fails, Nintendo decides to have Skip Limited work on one final attempt at this worthless franchise that they had no part in the failure of whatsoever. While development is done at the head of a guillotine, the desperate devs aim for the mid-as-fuck 2D platformer instead of the core gameplay the whole 5 fans have been begging for. After the flop of the mid-as-fuck 2D platformer, Skip Limited go to heaven and attempt to work on their own Chibi-Robo, with blackjack and hookers known as Co-Robo. To this day, some say Nintendo still wants to sell their next game exclusively at an Aldi's.